Hi, I'm Marcus, and I'm back here in the expansive Decaffeinated Horror Studio, where today we'll be opening up Giallo Essentials Box Set, the Blue Edition. Every week here, I'll be adding Giallo films and Italian horror films on Blu-ray to my collection. Now, I'm a big horror fan, but I really don't know much about Giallo films, and we're going to just discover some movies together, build a Giallo collection together, if you will. Now, one way to start, best way to start probably, is Arrow Home Video has these Giallo Essential box sets. And today I have the elusive Blue box set, which has three very exciting movies that we're going to be checking out. Now, I'd like to take a moment and talk about what a Giallo film is. I know we're 3 weeks in, this probably should have occurred to me sooner, but I don't want to take it for granted that everyone watching knows. So, a genre film, I'm going to be paraphrasing Ernesto Gastaldi, who wrote one of the movies we talked about last week. He actually wrote all three of the movies we're going to be talking about today. But so, a genre is not a detective story, not a thriller, it's not a horror movie, but it can be any one of those three things, or it can be all those things at once. Basically, what it is, though, it's an Italian mystery. There's a difficult to explain event, usually a murder at the beginning, and then there's a logical explanation based on the evidence that you see throughout the movie. There are other factors. I mean, there tends to be hyperviolence and a fair amount of sexual content. And your mileage may vary how successful each of these movies are, but that's basically what we're looking at with the Giallo film. So after looking back at the first two episodes, I realized I talked a lot about the presentation of the Blu-rays and not the content of the movies themselves. So going forward, I'm going to change that. Now, it should be easier because I've actually seen two of the movies in this box set before, so I do have some thoughts on that. Plus, stick around. At the end of the episode, I'm going to have a short segment talking about opera, which we covered in the first episode, and I've subsequently seen. So, Giallo Essentials, the Blue Edition. Now, for whatever reason, this is no longer available from Arrow Home Video. The movies themselves are, but the box set is out of print. I got really lucky. I found it online for a reasonable price. I was really surprised, and it's in perfect condition. So all three movies inside are written by Ernesto Gastaldi, who wrote a ton of movies back in the day, including probably a half dozen Italian horror or giallo films. And they're all directed by the same director, Luciano Ercole. So that should be interesting to compare these movies. Okay, consider yourself lucky this week. You don't have to sit through me peeling off shrink wrap. It's already opened. And just slide this right out. These have these great hard cases with these photos from the various movies. So let's take a look at these. The first one is the one I haven't seen. If I can get that out of there. It's the 1970 movie Forbidden Photos of a Lady Above Suspicion. There that is. Which, as usual, probably flows off the tongue a little bit better in the original Italian. This is really cool. There's the disc, and all of these have reversible covers, so you can display the English language cover or the Italian one. Now, this movie I haven't seen. I probably read a small blurb about it. There's a husband and wife. It's a big melodrama. There's blackmailing going on, sexual hijinks, but yeah, I look forward to seeing it. I just don't know much about that one, so we're going to just move on from that. So the next one, which is Death Walks on High Heels, which is the 1971 movie. These three movies came out in three consecutive years, by the way. Here's the cover, and inside we do see it does have that great reversible cover, so you can go with the Italian language version. So this movie, there are parts I don't remember too well. Now, first off, I do love a good urban giallo, like jet setting and the scenes in Paris. They're in London. Part of the movie takes place in a seaside town. Basic plot, I'm not going to spoil anything, but A man is killed on a train, and he was like a thief. He had a bunch of diamonds, and they wonder, does the daughter have the diamonds? And then she's the main character of the story. But I think why this movie was so unmemorable is that it's kind of a disjointed movie. It was really drawn out. There's like two extended dance scenes. The main character is a stripper, and there are two extended, like 5+ minute long dance scenes in a nightclub. And there are numerous scenes of people eating at a restaurant, which so what ends up happening is that all the exposition is crammed into the third act, and it just like there's too much. It's too ponderous. It's too slow at the beginning. Um, there are some cool stuff though. There's a couple stabbings in here to keep things lively. There's some fun twists along the way. I'm still trying to say this all without spoiling. I feel like they were really enamored with this actress because she does show up naked a lot of this, and there's those two strip scenes, and it's just it's all kind of silly. Now there is one scene where that's actually really sexy, where she has this apartment where the red light from outside is shining in. That 30-second scene where she's in a black bra and the red light is much more compelling than the 20 minutes at the beginning of the film. But anyway, it's not. I felt it's worth watching, but I do find the ending is kind of obvious. Now we get to talk about my favorite movie in this set. It's the 1972 movie Death Walks at Midnight. And by the way, all these movies are beautifully restored on Blu-ray. They do have all sorts of cool features. There's audio commentary on all of them. There's the trailers, both the English language and Italian language trailers. So the restoration really helps this movie. It does look beautiful. So this movie, right off the bat, you know you're watching a giallo because the main character is a fashion model. She has all these stylish outfits. She has a bitchin' late 1960s apartment. It has like Art Nouveau lights, a big round bed. There's floor to ceiling windows. And by the way, Susan Scott, who isn't actually in all three of these movies, is great in this role. She's a kick-ass female lead. Yes, at times she's a victim, but she's really a lot of fun to watch. She's really a strong character. So the basic plot, without spoiling too much, is she's doing a photo shoot while on hallucinogenic drugs. So while she's doing this photo shoot, she thinks she sees across the way in the next building someone being murdered. And then the whole movie is her trying to figure out who got killed and what exactly is going on. But yeah, I love this movie. I mean, it's pretty nasty in a couple of scenes. There is a couple of scenes of really extreme violence. The murderer has a iron glove with spikes on it as his weapon. So there are a couple of brutal scenes. There's a lot of bright red blood. But really, it is a great looking film, and it's just this is what you see in giallo. Someone has seen a part of a puzzle, and they don't know what it means. They're gonna figure it out throughout the movie. Um, and again, a lot of giallo staples. There's nightclub scenes. There are people drinking J&B whiskey, and then the climax is this great rooftop chase and fight between three characters that really has to be seen. This is a hell of a brawl. So anyway, I do love this movie. It's the centerpiece of this box set. Um, so I guess overall, what am I saying? Is this? Do I recommend buying this? Well, who am I kidding? I'm going to buy all five of these, but I'll have to wait and see. I have to see the third movie. If you base it on Death Walks at Midnight, yes, I give that a big thumbs up. But we're going to see later on how this compares against the other box sets. So anyway, this is a great package. So there you have it, the Giallo Essentials Blue Box Set. And now I want to take a moment and talk about Dario Argento's Opera, which we opened up on vlog number 1. Now the good about this is, so they used the Super 35mm original camera print to restore it, or the camera negative, and it looks beautiful. I mean, this movie has a lot of insane colors. The color palette is very strange at times. There's some amazing lighting. The movie just looks great. I mean, there are a lot of great set pieces. Everything in the apartment, Betty's apartment, the main character, like she's crawling through the vents, that scene's really effective. There's that stained glass window in the apartment, which gives us these weird colors. And then there's the over the top gunshot through the keyhole scene, which everyone loves. And this time watching it, I actually laughed out loud, not in a bad way, just because it's so audacious, it's so like insane. So that's all really cool. I think the problem with the movie, and I do like the movie a lot, don't get me wrong, though, is that it's great set pieces that are barely held together by this plot. Like there's some things that don't make a lot of sense in the plot. And this is where I'm going to start the spoil of the movie. So, the killer is the police officer who we find out had this weird sadomasochistic relationship with Betty, the main character, her mother, this weird sexual relationship. And now he's trying to entice her, and that's the whole point of the movie. But the actor playing it's like 25 years old. He's barely older than the lead actress. So how old was he when he was having this affair? Is he supposed to be older than the actor? I just question a lot of that. And then at the end of the movie, after what we think is the climax, Betty and her boyfriend are off in the Swiss Alps, and suddenly the police officer is back. Now, I like that he lived through the big fire explosion, but how did he find them in the middle of the Swiss Alps? It's just like there are questions like that that make you stop, and they just don't make a lot of sense. And then the ending, which a lot of people do criticize, where Betty tricks him and he gets apprehended, and then she embraces nature, and it just doesn't work at all. And honestly, watching it now, it seemed like the character was lying when she says she wasn't seduced by the violence. I don't think that's how it's intended. I think it's just how the actress is playing it. But I was watching it thinking, wait, is she lying? Was she really seduced? But then we go to this scene where she is hugging flowers and is happy, and this is after her boyfriend had been murdered 10 minutes previous. So don't get me wrong, I like this movie a lot. I love this movie. It's a great looking movie. It's very effective. Just don't pay too much attention to the plot. Still, worth owning. It's from Dario's heyday. You won't regret buying this. It's a really great release. So, next week, we are probably going to jump back into Giallo Essentials. There are 5 of those box sets. I own them all now, so I'm going to crack another one open. Unless I get some delivery randomly in the mail, we'll talk about something else. So, anyway, thanks for joining. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment on Facebook, or find me on Blue Sky, Twitter, or Facebook. I should say subscribe on YouTube. We'll edit that out later. So, anyways, thanks a lot for joining, everyone. A new addition to the decaffeinated horror movie shelf. See you next week for more.